Alright, we've gotten to our last hole here. I'm just going to do a final tug. To finish this stitch off, I'm going to take my front needle. I'm going to loop that around the back. Push it through that round hole. I'm going to place it on top of the threads. I'll push this through. And I'll place this thread on top of this ledge right here, just like that. And then I'll tighten. You'll notice that this thread is now sitting on top of the existing stitch. I'm going to loop this around once more, place it on top of the existing threads here. And I'm going to position this thread so that it sits right to the left of the existing stitch. So just like that. I'm going to position these threads so that they sit upright, and then I'll tighten. We're going to do a couple back stitches here. So I'm going to rotate my wallet around so that we're always stitching towards the right. So this will now be my front needle. So I'm going to take the front needle, I'm going to push it through the next stitching hole, and continue saddle stitching. I'm going to place that on top of the existing threads. I'm going to tug to make sure it's not pierced, and then I'll pull this through. Before I tighten, I want to make sure that this thread here sits on top of the existing stitch this way. So I'm going to position my thread here so that it sits on top. Just like that. And then this one, I want it to sit on the bottom, so this way. So I want them to sit in parallel to one another, right next to each other without crossing over. So as I tighten, I'm just going to make sure that this stitch sits right below the existing one here. And I'm going to tighten a little bit, and there we go. So you can see that our stitches are lined up in parallel. They're not crossing over one another. And I'll take the front needle and just push it towards the back. And I'm going to position this thread again to sit below the existing stitch. So there we go. I'm going to tighten this stitch a little, and then I'll tug on both to tighten it. And there we go. We're going to snip these threads off now. We want to leave about 2 to 3 millimeters, or about 1/8 of an inch. About this much. And then I'll need a lighter to seal off this thread here. Alright, we're going to bring the flame down onto the top of the threads while avoiding burning the leather. And the threads are going to start melting. And when most of the thread has melted, we're going to smush it down with a flat part of the lighter. And you'll notice that the threads are now flattened, they mushroom outwards, and this is going to make sure that this stitch never unravels. Alright, and there we go, we've just finished stitching everything together.